Icebreaker. I was gonna ask, what is the top item on your bucket list? If anyone wants to start.
So bucket list ever or this year?
Um, for this year.
Or this year. Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
This this is Esther. I'll start. I'd like to go on a river cruise in Europe somewhere.
That's nice.
Ooh. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's interesting. I need to find someone to go with me so I get a cheaper rate.
There you go.
I'll go
I don't
off.
know if. Oh,
I,
go
I
ahead,
was gonna
Dave.
go off of that and say make it to Antarctica.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, a couple of my Rotarian friends are leaving on Wednesday for Antarctica.
Nice. I hear it'll
Really?
hopefully be nice and
Yes.
toasty down there.
Yeah.
What are they going to do in Antarctica?
Well, I kind of question that because the last Rotarian who went a year ago, it doesn't sound like it was very exciting. A lot of ship time, looking at penguins from the shore, but really not getting on shore.
Is it? Are they going like through from Argentina?
Yes.
Okay, that's yeah, what I'm doing. Actually, next year at this, well, next year tomorrow, um, is I guess when I'll be headed back home if everything goes right.
Oh, perfect. So I'm anxious to hear from you on that.
Yeah, and I think that well, the big thing I was reading about online, they only allow, what is it, 100 people total at a
Right.
time, and so like my ship it's not is I guess somewhat more expensive than like the bigger ones, but it also means that it's only I think 90 people, so everyone gets to go on shore at once, which will be nice.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be my first cruise, so
I would love to go to a new state because I've only been to in total about 7 states. And my mom is a travel agent, so hopefully we could see if we could get a trip planned to somewhere up like in the New England area or maybe out in the Midwest. We'll see.
Oh, that's
So
good.
Brock, what states have you been to?
I've been to both of the Carolinas, Virginia, Georgia, Florida, Colorado, just by the Denver airport, and then California.
Okay.
Well, you can come to North Dakota, we'd have you.
All right. All
There
right.
you go. It's set.
Yeah.
How about you, Sue? What's on your bucket list?
Uh, well, I'm not a traveler pretty much, so having a winter with not much snow this year. That's what I want. And so far we're lucking out.
Really?
Yep, we had 10 foot last year and we've had a really open winter, so we're happy. It's gonna get 40 below wind chill this weekend, but
I'm pretty sure I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I've been in the Dakotas and Minnesota when it's been 40 or 50 below. It's pretty cold.
North Dakota, I
Sounds
think,
wrong.
is pretty flatter than Minnesota. At least Minnesota has some trees.
well, they've just all been planted by people.
North Dakota is a great state.
It is. We're hardy people.
Yes.
I would say at 40 below, you better be.
Oh, it gets worse than that. We've had a great winter so far.
I've been waiting for the snow though. I'm just down south of you in Iowa, and well, we're getting, I think, between 7 to 12 ish inches today and tomorrow.
Well, that's good. I'm glad for you. Because we're really out it right now.
Although
After last,
we need the snow for it's been pretty dry, so
right? Need it for crop cover, I'm sure.
yeah, any little moisture helps.
Well, we've had a lot of,
Okay, go ahead. Shasharek, I was going to note that Ben and Arjun have also joined us, so they might not know well, I know they don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. So for that icebreaker, the question is, what is the top item on your bucket list? And it's for this year. So yeah.
And Austin still hasn't gone either.
Um,
I'm
I
trying to
would say,
think.
oh, sorry.
I'm trying. I mean,
Um,
I've got maybe. I'll go with the cruise idea. I want to cruise the Grecian Isles, but I don't know if that's going to be this year or next year. So
Okay.
It's cool.
I would say my top thing would be, I guess going to the Esri conference again.
oh, cool.
Yay.
I will hopefully be able to make it this year. I wasn't able to go last year because of the beach, but I'll try and see if I can make it this year. I should be able to, because the beach will be the week after. So
Awesome. And I think for me, my number one bucket list item is to make it to May and graduate.
Oh, well, I'll
yeah.
celebrate that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And furthermore than that is on my bucket list is to get hired by Oak Ridge National Laboratory when I graduate.
Oh, good for you. Good goal.
Yeah.
That's cool. What about you, Dr. A?
Oh, I forgot I hadn't gone. I was enjoying everybody else's bucket list item. I was like envisioning doing each of those things, including no really, really cold snow. But not the Antarctica. I mean, that just that feels a little cold for me. But wow, my bucket list for this year. This is something realistic, right? This is something we actually, not just pie in the sky.
Oh, it could be pie in the sky.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then I want peace on earth.
Okay, that's a good thing to aim for. We should all aim for that.
at
That's
least
on
try
my
to
bucket list 2024.
at least try to achieve some small form of peace, because then you can achieve larger forms of peace. Start small, go big.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
not on Earth, then in our communities and our nation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can move on to
Well, we haven't heard yours.
for me, I think I want to go like bungee jumping or like zip lining. I think that would be fun to do this year.
Nice.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Fun fact, I used to actually be an instructor for a summer camp that had zip lines and all kinds of high adventure activities. So
Oh, that's cool.
I've seen a lot of people do it for their first time and a lot of people get nervous, but there's nothing to be nervous about. It's nothing but fun.
Yeah.
My thought on both of those is they're over way too fast.
Yeah.
Then you can add skydiving to it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's over. That's also another one that's over way too fast. I've done that.
Okay. So we're gonna move on. Who wants to be the like note taker and the like next state facilitator?
Do we want to take up on that, Dr. Ake? I mean, I know we had the meeting before, but I mean,
Were we
We-
going in order?
Yeah, I think we were.
I think we were, but then it got like switched
Yeah.
a couple meetings ago.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if California is going this mean, theoretically, I think then it would be like Massachusetts next, but I'm not quite sure.
Well, and Massachusetts is not on yet. I think there may still be some Massachusetts presence, but they're not here quite yet. If there is going to be,
Okay.
New York is reforming, so
Okay, I
we
got you.
they may be out for a part of the semester.
Okay.
North Carolina just went, and I'm just looking at the state updates on the agenda here. So Tennessee would be after North Carolina, but the one immediately after California is Illinois, then Iowa. So I think it could either be David or somebody from Team Tennessee.
I would defer and rather have a youth do it.
Well, right now, unfortunately, we only have a couple of states that have consistent youth representation. And so that's North Carolina, California, and Massachusetts. Um, so
Perhaps we could ask Massachusetts to do it, and if they're unable to do it, we could have a default. Although that we still need someone to take notes.
we still need a note taker for tonight. Somebody willing to take notes, and then we can ask Massachusetts for next time.
I mean, I can if y'all want.
Thanks, Brock.
Yeah,
Okay.
hold on. I'll create a Google Doc real quick.
Okay.
So I'm curious, does everyone know Sue from North Dakota?
Yeah, I was introduced last couple of meetings.
Okay,
Okay.
Way back.
So should I start on the state updates now? Is that fine?
Go ahead.
Okay. So for California, we weren't able to have a proper meeting this month because I think the timing didn't work out with like finals for everybody. But Mr. Tate did send me an email about a team, someone who could like join our team, and so I did send. It was Nikhil Bagri, I think, and so I did send him an email recently, and I haven't got a response yet. But we're gonna try to ask him to like help out as an adult geo mentor for our team. But so that's all for California that we've done in this month. But yeah. Is there anybody from Illinois here? Okay. Iowa.
No updates.
Okay. Louisiana. Okay. Massachusetts. New York. Yeah. And then North Carolina.
All right. Dr. A, who wants to talk about the Arbor Day event? Do you want to talk about it I mean, okay. I can do it then. So we had our meeting, when was it? It was this past Saturday, actually, at Hunt Library at NC State. And I was only able to stay for an hour because I had all district band auditions that day. But we have a contact from the North Carolina Department of Future Planning. Is that what it is? Or the Wake County Department of Future Planning?
So he's with Wake County Planning Department.
Yeah, Wake County's planning department. His name is Bill Troyer. He's their senior GIS advisor for Wake County's planning department. And so 4-H is having an Arbor Day event. And what this is it's a day where volunteers from 4-H help Wake County's planning department as well as the forestry service plant trees in areas where there's a lack of tree growth in Wake County. And we have picked out 3 particular locations that we know of that could use some tree planting. And Mr. Schroyer has recently done a GIS project using imagery data on tree coverage in Wake County. And so what he would like us to do is, first of all, create some presentations on these places and the historical significance of these areas and why we need to plant trees in these areas, and also why we're going to be mapping these areas and the trees that are going to be coming in so that they have some statistics. So we're going to be giving these presentations to the planters, and then after that is done, we're going to go out on the Arbor Day and actually map out all the trees that are being planted. And so we're going to divvy up the work, and we'll be doing that. Is that all?
So, Brock, let me ask a couple questions. We'll do this kind of like interview style because I think there are a few things that I want to make sure you point out. So, why did 4-H decide to do this tree planting project? Like, what sparked all that?
So the goal in Wake County right now is to have, I think it's what, like 30% like reserved tree coverage or something like that. Like there's a goal to have a certain amount of like leaf coverage and a certain amount of preserved area. And recently, and especially in Western Wake County, that is basically decaying. Especially with new developments like Umstead State Park, quarrying and whatnot. And so there is a need right now for tree planting and conservation so that we do have some coverage and we're basically just not urbanizing everything.
Let me rephrase my question. So, how did you even learn about Mr. Schroyer?
Oh yeah, so we met him at the Raleigh GIS Day event. He's a friend of Dr. Ray's, and so he had a presentation with his project on tree leaf coverage, and so we ended up introducing ourselves and what we do. And I was especially able to connect with him with my current GIS internship, where I'm mapping out agricultural parcels in Wake County, specifically farms. And so we were able to discuss like imagery data and whatnot. And so eventually he emailed us and came to our meeting and asked us about this opportunity.
Were you there when we looked at how the priority areas were selected? Did you see the data on that?
The beginning of it, but like I had to leave like before we got into anything significant.
Okay. So there are some, important variables that were taken into account, everything from the social vulnerability index data within that area to urban heat index to stormwater factors. And so each area received across about a half a dozen factors a rating of priority level. And so that combined with some existing relationships has led to identifying those areas. So we're really excited about this. And it won't be presentations, it'll be 3 maps for each of the 3 sites. So our team will be generating 9 posters with maps.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
3 sites.
Yeah. All right, and then for a few quick club updates, we we have one new member currently coming. His name is Justin, And we are planning to have at least 2 more new members coming in soon, Andrew and Ryan, and potentially a third one. I was reached out about that. I'm going to try and get his info. But we are growing as we speak, and we only have one meeting this month, and that will be January 29th. And so that one is special because Wake County Public Schools GIS department is going to be doing a presentation that day. I had met Miss Molly Harrison, who is in their department on the Raleigh GIS Day event, and she said that she was very much willing to come in and doing a presentation, show exactly what they're doing so that she can give us some inspiration. So we're going to set that up for that day and try and see all that we can do. Yeah. And then with my GIS internship, we are currently in what we would like to describe as like a phase 1 sort of event. We have some imagery data that we have acquired thanks to Mr. Schroer and like his insight, a particular layer called NAIP, which has some really good imagery. So we're going to be using that and just some AI processing to exactly map out where all the agricultural parcels that have farms are in Wake County. So that way we can then map them out. That's all from me.
Arjun, you have anything to add?
Sure. I can talk about my food security project. So I'm continuing Nikhil's initiatives to kind of improve community experience in North Carolina, or specifically Wake County. And I've been working with someone who works with Cooperative Extension. Her name is Nathalie, and she's also working on a food security survey. So we have been working together to kind of create a combined survey to kind of better serve the community within food security. And we're planning to give those surveys pretty soon. But I think Brock covered like the rest among the GIS club and stuff.
Dr. Do you have, Doctor, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
All right.
Okay, moving on, is there anybody from Tennessee?
Good evening. Just wanted to update you all. I'm not sure if we discussed last month, but Ty Petty, who is now taking over as kind of the head of our GIS statewide effort in 4-H, has already sent an email out to all of the statewide 4-H agents announcing our state 4-H GIS contest. And so with that, we hope to have many good submissions and can start to pull together some talent from across the state to form a national team representation for Team Tennessee.
Okay. Thank you. And then anything from North Dakota?
Well, we're finally getting our team pulled together, and we have a mentor. I don't know how many, I know Esther knows Angie Milkovich. She's worked with it for years, so she's going to be our mentor. And we've kind of changed what we decided we're going to do. We're going to do some GSI mapping of our one small community for the EMTs and the sheriff and the BIA police force to let them know which homes have elders, which homes have people that are disabled, which homes have infants in it, because we're isolated, we're a long ways from any kind of medical attention, so we need to be sure that our ambulances and police force are aware of who's living in what home.
Okay.
And Sue, let us know if you need any help with that. We got a team here, folks, ready to support you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I think that's everybody for the state updates. So
South Carolina. South Carolina.
Oh, okay. And then also South Carolina, sorry. Are there any updates from South Carolina?
Saw Mr. Moore had joined. There we go.
Thanks, Tom. Hi. I just saw the link. Tom Tate sent him around. Um, I don't have any update to report since last month, except I've been doing a lot of research, and I've connected with doctors at the Medical University of South Carolina. So I've done it with them on nutrition. And so what I hope to do is something similar to what you've done toward policy. So whenever we get going toward doing the mapping, finding where's the food, then we can start, start connecting some of the dots between the hospitals and the State Department of Agriculture, State Department of Education, and possibly some of the legislators to do something for school policy, for school, what do they call it? Food service, for each policy for the school districts, school food authorities, SFAs. Yeah, so that's it. I'm waiting to, we're going to have a meeting sometime in January, but I'm being invited into this group that's already exists. So I'm just waiting to figure out when they're going to meet and when they're going to invite me.
I'd love for you to keep us updated on that. I guess Arjun and Brock offered for me to chime in a little bit. So now that you brought up food policy, I guess I will.
Oh, great.
We're, we're really trying to get a better grasp on our summer food service programs. And so what we've found is that well, so for us, those funds run through the Department of Public Instruction here in North Carolina and out to the communities from there. So DPI administers our summer food service program in the state of North Carolina. But what we found is when we try to, send people to these summer food service program sites to go get some lunch, maybe the site isn't really in the location that the state database, the locator, they've got an app out there as a locator. People go and they show up and there's no food there, or they'll show up and it is a summer food service program site, but it's closed. So like maybe it's a summer camp and it's just for the people who go to that summer camp. So people in the community, like they're not welcome to go there. It's not an open site. And then the other thing that has been a challenge is that there have been organizations who have been willing to be summer food service program open sites in the past who refuse to do it anymore because of the policies tied to, I mean, I guess they can go with different sponsors, but the most common sponsor in our community is the school system, and the food is substandard, um, and the regulations around food waste. The food waste is one of the biggest gripes that people have because the way that food is regulated. That each young person has to take everything and then basically whatever they're not going to eat they throw away. So there's just this process of young people going up, getting the meal, getting the milk, and then throwing it away. And the the level of food waste is just out of control, ridiculous. So, anyways, not to necessarily get on that soapbox, but that is one of the projects we're going to be working on here in Wake County as well, is trying to better understand, map out where we know the actual open sites were last year. We're going to look at some economic health data by community, and we're going to map out where there are gaps. We're going to work with summer program providers to kind of navigate who would be willing to be a summer food service provider, or potentially we work with our county commissioners to come up with a plan B that might not even be summer food service program. It might be some county dollars that are going towards, maybe a better managed, maybe management. I don't think is the issue. It's the policy. It's really, a program that has real people policies that are not tied to just throwing away a lot of food and being really like, I think they do it because they're trying to be, good stewards of the resources. It's backwards. Like it doesn't work out well at the end of the day.
You're right. It's backwards. It's the opposite of good stewards.
The opposite of good stewardship. Okay, I'm done. I apologize but yeah, that was that update.
Okay, thank you. So next we're gonna move on to additional business. So I think we have a presentation from Brock.
Yep. This presentation was originally supposed to take place at the last meeting, but I'm more than willing to do it now. Give me just a second. So this presentation will be on ArcGIS dashboards. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with ArcGIS dashboards, hopefully this will give a little bit of insight as to what this actually is. So first, sorry, it's acting up a little. So the first misunderstanding is that ArcGIS dashboards is a mapping software. It is not. It's actually a GIS display software. So ArcGIS dashboards is actually designed to convey information to the user using gimmicks embedded within the software. Regardless, it is still a GIS software and is centered around geodata. So ArcGIS dashboards relies on portions, which are throughout the dashboard. By default, there's one portion that's in the center. But as you add elements, the dashboard automatically gives you options to add more elements throughout, and it creates essentially new options for portions. And you can also add multiple elements within a one portion, which creates these tabs, which you can cycle through to see different elements within the same portion. Now, there is a settings tab on the far left side, and these have 6 subtabs. There's the view tab. This lets you edit the settings on your map data within the dashboard. The theme tab, this lets you edit the general visual settings. Unit prefixes, this lets you set metric prefixes and subscriber content. So this one is interesting. So if there is ArcGIS Online data within that dashboard that is subscription based, which actually does exist, you can go on SRE Marketplace and find it. This allows you to give permissions to co-editors to be able to edit this data through the View tab. And finally, the Save tab, which of course lets you save it. Now, ArcGIS dashboards has 2 types of elements, map elements and indicator elements. Map elements are just what they sound like. They display a map made with GIS software. So preferably, you would use maps based on the software you're in. So if you're making a dashboard in ArcGIS Online, you would use ArcGIS Online data. If you're making a dashboard in ArcGIS Pro, you would use Pro data. And your maps, actually, never mind, sorry. Your maps need to be made accessible through ArcGIS Online. So if you made it in ArcGIS Pro, you'll need to open ArcGIS on. Sorry, I forgot that you can't make dashboards in Pro. So indicators, there are 9 different indicators that you can choose from in dashboards. However, these can easily be broken down into 2 categories, data dependent indicators and data independent indicators. So we'll start with the dependent ones. So these are, sorry, this is being weird. I'll give you just a second. Sorry. All right. So 7 out of the 9 indicators are GIS data dependent. This means they actually rely on data layers that are in either one of the map elements already in the dashboard or data layers accessible in another map accessible via ArcGIS Online. So these include serial charts. So these allow you to display both the bar graphs and line graphs about your data. So you can see here, there's pie charts, which of course make pie charts about your data. There's just what's called an indicator. So it's just a basic indicator, which literally displays a literal number about your data. Gauges, and as it sounds like a car gauge, it shows your data in comparison to other statistics, similar to a basic indicator here. Lists, these allow you to display individual pieces of data in an orderly fashion. A lot of dashboards will use this if for incident reports. So if you're showing a list of individual things that happened, this is very good for that. Tables, these allow you to display an index table of values and statistics about your data. So sort of like in ArcGIS Pro, ArcGIS Online, if you look at a data layer and it's sort of data table, this is very similar to that. Details, these actually allow you to display metadata about any embedded data, if any. So data independent indicators. There are only 2 of these, and they do not rely on GIS data to be functional. These indicators include rich text. So it's sort of Microsoft Word style text. So it's completely customizable text, and you can type literally anything on it. And then embedded content. These allow you to embed whole documents, images, videos, and even ArcGIS Online a link. So you can actually embed whole GIS maps. And you could even probably put in another dashboard. So you could actually have a little dashboard within your dashboard. And then ArcGIS Arcade. So for those of you unfamiliar, ArcGIS Arcade is a GIS-based programming language. So it's a very simplified version of Python. So it allows you in ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, and ArcGIS dashboards to display your data in a more preferable way. So dashboards actually encourages you to use ArcGIS Arcade and SQL on GIS data dependent indicators because this way you can basically customize these indicators to your will. So this is very cool. So if you learn either of these 2 programming languages, this is very useful. And then a quick word on the State Fair mapping project. So as we had discussed, I think it was either in the December or November meeting, I am making a project currently with ArcGIS dashboards on state fairs across the United States. So what I'm doing is using a Survey 123, which is a GIS-based surveying software. I am making a GIS data layer full of records of all of the state fairs across the United States. I had originally put this out through email, so if people wanted to input, they could, and I could get resources of people who already know about state fairs and whatnot. However, I understand that the holiday season is busy, and thus I've gotten 0 responses so far. However, I am going to be inputting some of my own data going forward from what I can find, so that way we can have a fully completed map. So hopefully by the February meeting, we will have a dashboard that actually can display or the state fairs across the United States, so we can go ahead and prepare to prepare for this. So that is all. Any questions?
Hey, Brock, do you have like a sample of a dashboard that you can show us? Like
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hold on. I'll pull mine up real quick.
because I think being able to demonstrate like the dependent
Yeah.
indicators and
So,
how and click.
Actually, if you want, I can make one on the spot. So
Could you use the state fair one you're already working on? Show us
that because I have not received much data yet, I do not have enough data to commit to complete that quite yet. So it's very incomplete right now. But I can make one on the spot with some other data. All right. So let's think of this. This is a blank dashboard. So what we can do is we can go ahead and actually add a map element. So let's see. This is the NAIP layer I am using for, well, actually, let's not use this. Let's see. So this was a project I did my freshman year. This was on crime rates in North Carolina and their relation to rural population. So let's say that we pull up on this portion. See, it automatically adds 4 portions already. So let's say in this portion, let's add, I don't know, let's add a pie chart, data dependent indicator. So let's do medium household income. This was one of the layers I've used, right?
Well, let me caution you on that one. A median household income might not represent that well
Yeah,
on a
that's a good
pie
point,
chart,
actually.
each unique
Let's
value. Is there something that maybe would have
actually, yeah. Yeah, actually, let's do a serial chart. We could do that. All right. You can also add filters on the side and whatnot. So we could do it to like just certain counties if you wanted to, but let's see. Let's see what we can do. We can actually go ahead. Maybe we could use a different rural population. So let's do rural population, right? So instead of this, let's see. Well, I guess you could do that, but let's see. Ooh, averages? It's not averages. Let's see. Standard deviation. That doesn't show up anything. Let's see. Percent rural.
So yeah, I think the point here is that you can add charts and you do have to point to your map data.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have time to actually go through and completely build one. But the cool thing about it is that you can then, after you've done that, you can link, you can put an action that links your map to the chart. So when you click on a county on the
Yes.
map, your chart's going to reflect just the data from that county.
Absolutely. And that's where you can do some modification with ArcGIS Arcade and SQL. And the dashboard essentially encourages you to do that.
And that's the whole idea of dependent, right? So what you
Mhm.
do in one depends on what you click on the other one.
Precisely. So yeah.
All right.
And so that is all. The present. Any questions?
Brock, would it be possible for you to show us how you would add an item to the state or county fair tool that you are
Yeah,
building
absolutely.
currently?
Yeah. So I can actually pull up the survey 123 real quick. I had sent this out. Okay. So this is the survey. This was made in survey 123. So there are a couple things. First of all, there's the state of the fair, the name of the fair. Then you could add additional information about the event. This will show up in metadata. And then you have the starting date and ending date. And so from here, you can also put in your email and your signature to verify who made this. So let's say I went ahead and picked North Carolina, for example. We could do the North Carolina State Fair. Dr. A, do you have any information about the event?
Just the best thing happening in North Carolina every
All right.
year in October.
The best thing happening in North Carolina. And then, do you know the starting date?
October 17th, it
All
looks like.
October 17th.
That
Ending
seems
date.
too late. That can't be right. Let me.
We
You
can
know
always
what,
fix
though?
it later.
It is. It's the 17th through the 27th. That feels
All right.
late.
27. All right. And then I can put it in my email. Okay. And then I can just draw a signature. Now I can submit this, and believe it or not, it'll actually show up in the data. So they'll say this submitted, and if I go back, if you go to overview, if I go to design and then go back to overview, you actually now have a submission. So it'll actually keep record of the submission. And this, what's really cool about Survey 123 is every Survey 123 that exists automatically gets turned into a GIS layer. So what I can do is import this into a map and then import that into ArcGIS dashboards. So yeah, that's how I do that. And what's cool is I can always delete that entry. So I'm gonna do that right now because that was kind of a silly entry.
Well, so I wonder if you could add to your survey a question of like the location of the fair.
yeah, so
Um,
that's the thing. I know that some fairgrounds have like a wide variety, so that's why I was hesitant to put that in there. But if you want, I can add an address. There is an option for an address input, so I can do that.
I think
Yeah.
that would be great, especially since you're going to be making a dashboard with
Yeah.
the map as kind of the central feature.
Yeah. So yeah.
Can you show us how you would add a field? How
Yeah, absolutely.
Add that location?
All right, so I've just deleted the entry. So if you go to the design part of Survey 123, here's the options over here. So let's say I wanted to put it right here in between 1 and 2. What I would simply do is there's two options for location. There's a map and an address. So what I will do is put this here, and I can say address of fair. I'll let that correct. And then we can have no default value and then suddenly like, let's see, address font. Let's do just address text only. Well, actually, no, it's me. And then, yeah. And so then from what you can do is you can save this. And actually, I should probably make this a required question. And then from there, you can publish it, and this will actually apply it to the actual server. So then when I open up in a new tab, that will actually apply. So yeah. So that's how that was. And actually it just finished. So what I can do is if you hit this button here and hit survey link, we'll actually open it in a new tab. And that's there now. Yeah. There you go. Any other questions?
I just had one other note. Would you mind dropping the link to the survey 123
Yes.
in the chat box so people on the
Yeah.
call can go ahead and put in their states? I think
Yes.
is it just state fair or are we going to do county
The
fairs
county
too?
as well, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Then all right. Here's what I'll do then. Here's the link. Actually, no, that's the wrong one. copy. What I'll do is I will modify this so that it also includes county fairs.
Good,
So
good.
please do not fill this out till let's say by Saturday. Like on Saturday, y'all can start filling this out. Just make sure that you bookmark it. So that way, it was you have access to it. I also sent this out through an email earlier, but I can also send another one out if need be. Sounds good. Any other questions?
So we could play, or you're putting it in the link, in the chat to us now?
Yeah, I gave it. It's already in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And you'll have a county, state and county fair capability by the weekend then, hey?
Yes, correct.
Great.
All right.
And you're assigning us homework to show us next month, all of us that have failed to put our county in there or something. But I promise to add to it if I can get into it.
All
Any
right.
special passwords I need to get in there?
No, literally all you need to do is add your email and the signature at the end and it will be verified.
Excellent. Excellente.
Sounds good.
And then would we be able to see the map next month?
Yes, after all of y'all submit, and I will try and see if I can find more data on other state fairs and county fairs as well. From then forth, I will I will apply this to the dashboard and hopefully get some good data dependent indicators on there. And hopefully do some good ArcGIS arcade programming so that way y'all can see a very efficient dashboard.
Terrific.
Okay.
Thanks for demonstrating that to us. That's great.
You're welcome.
I'm not very good at just general concepts. I like this. I'm from Missouri. That was show me state, you know?
Okay.
I just put a link in the chat to a website that lists the state fairs for 2024.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, thanks. So we're gonna move on. So does anyone have anything they want to mention about like any state GIS competitions?
I think just a reminder to please each of you in your respective states. If you're a youth, please find out who's running your state competition and enter. And if you're an adult, figure out who's doing your state competition and encourage young people that you're connected with to enter.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Ben and Austin have had one in Tennessee for several years. I don't know if recent years or not. Does any Tennessee talk about the competitions that they've had in the past, maybe?
Yeah, Tom, we've had competitions up until COVID, and then we're now resuming it back this year. Will be our first year back.
And how will that take place? I mean, who pulls the trigger on the cascade of timeline and so on? How's that?
Yeah,
Which
so
would-
we have a statewide committee of made up of various different people, including Austin, myself as volunteers, and then mostly statewide 4-H agents and Ty Petty, who is not the STEM director. Austin, you may have to help refresh my memory on what Ty's position is now.
He's the Eastern Region program leader. Traditionally it's been the contest was held. Of course, Tim Prather, some of you, well, I don't know, many people on this call know Tim, but Tim Prather was in biosciences, engineering, he kind of started it in terms of basically all 4-H clubs across the state of Tennessee in the UT system as well as TSU were encouraged to participate in a contest that involved doing a narrative, a writing piece of, kind of what was your project about, as well as a video component, filming about your project, and then of course a map that was also judged by the TNGIC group. So it was in partnership with TNGIC, which is our Tennessee Geographic Information Council. So it's kind of a multi-partnership with local 4-H clubs, the university, as well as TNGIC, which now, thanks to Ben, has been brought back to life, and we'll be starting back up this year. So it took
I
about
was
a two-year
I wouldn't say
pause.
me.
So.
I would say thanks to Ty and yourself. But it's definitely a group effort. But yeah, and I think the only thing I could add to that is this coming year we are adding the ability for people to submit online maps or storyboards or anything of that sort as well. I believe. But yeah, does that answer y'all's question?
I was just thinking for those states who may not have a competition in place, you all have a rich history of having done it in the past, and would there be any possibility of maybe having a brief discussion of that as maybe a February topic, that could kind of tell us what the plan is for 2024 in Tennessee, and then other states who might be interested in copying your model that have at least a starting point to work with. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I could definitely see about what documents we have that kind of lay out and explain the rules and the timeline and that sort, and get that forwarded to you all. That may be the most useful thing.
So I just dropped a link in the chat box for folks to click on. If you slide down to the first map there, you can see all the states that are participating in the Esri sponsored competition, as well as the state website for the competition and who the email contact is for the competition. So that's a great place to get started. So there you go.
Okay, thanks. So I think that's everything for this meeting. So for the next meeting, should I email Massachusetts so that we can decide who the next person will be?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Who's
And
the next state?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And I
so yeah.
They're
And I
not on
finished-
tonight.
No, I don't think they're on the call tonight. So
No. And I finished the meeting notes, so I'll go ahead and send that out through an email.
okay, thanks. So I think that's everything. So we can just do the pledge now, I think. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Okay.
Good meeting, Gil. I have to go. Goodbye.
Fantastic.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks
Hope
all.
y'all
Have a good
great
night.
month.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have
Bye.
a great month. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.